There's a few things that can fool you in the recent 1.1 update, but you can easily prepare yourself by taking these actions. Starting with the most important progress trap in 1.1 are going to be the bounties and requests from the city reputation. Hopefully, by now you already know that these requests and bounties are shared across the city, so you're getting a weekly limit of 3 each. But what the game won't tell you is that you can actually repeat the same bounty again, meaning the bounty with the most reputation experience should be chosen all 3 times instead of picking all the 3 different ones. And before you accept the bounty, make sure to scroll all the way down to the bottom to examine every special trait these bounties will have, because otherwise you will need to rely on your emergency foods intel about the monster's weaknesses. And in this example, you can see that the Ruin Guard has immunity to hydro and anemo damage, but at the same time, you can also exploit its weaknesses with electro and plunging attacks. So this looks like a job for someone who's been too busy climbing those walls. Finally, once you're hunting for the bounty, make sure to use your elemental sight and look for the blue lines that will point you to the clues. And if you want some free primo gems, you can get an achievement by running out of time and failing the bounty. So keep in mind that you should only hunt for the biggest and toughest bounties for the best weekly experience rewards. Now that you know how to hunt your prey effectively, it's important you understand that after the initial burst of reputation experience, you will be pretty much limited by the weekly bounties and requests unless MiHoYo adds new ways to level your reputation. So each week, if you complete the toughest bounties and the 3 requests from the city residents, you will end up with 420 reputation experience. And we're talking about 2 cities whose bounties and requests are shared between each other. Now initially, if you complete all the region quests and location discoveries, you will be able to reach reputation level 3 on each city. But what comes next will depend on what your goals are. Do you want to obtain each gadget first, or are you more interested in obtaining those awesome looking gliders? And to make things easier for yourself, consider the following. Mondstadt rewards include a gadget that will let you consume your food faster, a personal teleporter which can be placed anywhere on the map, and of course a treasure locator for the Mondstadt region. This means you will have an easier time eating and traversing, as well as locating all the missing Mondstadt treasure. But if you were to consider Liyue, then the rewards will include a portable cooking station and a treasure locator for this region. So it all comes down to your priorities. Do you wish to unlock better quality of life upgrades from Mondstadt first, or instead go for treasure locator inside Liyue, since a portable cooking station isn't really that big of a deal. But it's important to note that Liyue has far more treasure available than Mondstadt, so as you can imagine, having such a gadget in your hands could speed up your leveling process, or at least make the completionist inside of you more satisfied. And one interesting thing to note would be that because Liyue region has more quests, you have a better head start with the reputation experience, so it's going to be faster to reach level 6 for the treasure locator. All in all, if you care about accessories and looking cool, then it's probably best to focus on one city at a time until you unlock the glider. But if you want to be more strategic, then it's first recommended to reach Liyue reputation level 6 and then switch over to Mondstadt until you can unlock the last gadget, and then you're basically left with the decision which name cards and gliders you want to pursue. Either way, it's best to set yourself a goal and work towards it, since the weekly reputation experience is quite limited and we're still unsure how much experience will be needed to advance to the last remaining levels. One of the more new additions to the game are the magical crystal chunks. You can locate them by yourself naturally, or if you have reached reputation level 2 with any of the cities, speak to the blacksmith and they will mark few of the mining areas for you. And the same could also be done with some of the other NPCs like Draft and Springvale, who will also show you additional mining spots. But besides these useful features, it's important to understand that these ores are mostly meant for endgame players, as it's always better to spend your resin on things like character ascension materials unless you're truly hard pressed to get some mystic ores. All in all, it's a good idea to keep collecting these new magical ores, since it might come in handy once you have plenty of good artifacts and other things, and not to mention that weapon leveling skyrockets from 80 to 90. But until then, it's probably better to use your resin for more valuable rewards. A new foe has joined the game who seems to be very elusive. The unnatural Hilichurl was initially announced before the update and footage was shown of him dropping primo gems. While it appears to be that even after players collectively pointed out a lot of its locations, it still only has a random chance of showing up in one of those places. And what's even worse, the primo gem reward is not even guaranteed, and if you spend the time looking for him, you might just end up with a cabbage as your reward for hard work. So if you want to progress in the game more faster, it's better to avoid going out of your way and looking for these unusual Hilichurls, and instead encounter them naturally when you're simply exploring the world. Unless of course you're very focused on completing achievements with them. players finally have a way of saving up resin, although it comes with some restrictions. Once you reach reputation level 3 with Liyue, you will unlock Condensed Resin recipe, which costs 1 crystal core and 40 resin. And this is going to be an extremely crucial piece of resource for players who are working with their daily allowance of resin, since sometimes there won't be any domains that will have anything of interest for you, and you could save up the resin for the next day when you could use it up for materials you're actually seeking to farm. And one more great usage, of course, is to use these condensed resin to quickly obtain double the amount of rewards from any of the regular domains. But one thing you need to keep in mind is that you can only have a maximum of 3 condensed resin in your backpack, so you will essentially be able to save up a total of 120 resin. Also, when you craft this item, you contribute towards your battle pass quests, which include the resin usage. So learning to use this excellent gadget will not only save your time, but also give you more effective returns if you don't have anything useful to farm on particular days. In summary, make sure to always select the hardest difficulty bounty, since you can complete them until you reach the weekly limit, and it's also a good idea to decide on which reputation to work on first, so that you don't lose sight of your progress. And when it comes to saving time and resources, it's better not to craft any magical crystal ores unless you're an endgame player, and hunting for unnatural hilichurls so far seems to be more of a fun challenge rather than something full of primo gems. And finally, make sure to take control of condensed resin as soon as possible so you can start planning and utilizing its feature for better farming experience. Enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification on, as well as gently press the like button. Also, check out more of our videos recommended for you, or follow us on Twitter for more Genshin Impact guides. Thank you for watching us.